Hello, everybody. I hope that you are having a wonderful day because we are here for the launch of the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference, and I am joined by the gorgeous looking GMT over there. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. A little bit after morning for me, but no big deal. Yeah, doing really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm having a blast. I'm very, very excited about the start of today and our pre-show that we're going to run. So we're going to talk for about 30 minutes and then we're going to get into our matches today. We've got some really exciting matches in our first League of Legends pop-up tournament that we're running. And so GMT and I are going to do a couple of little Q&A to help answer some questions and help get everybody up to speed on what we're doing with the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference, why it's important, who's in it, what the schedule and season looks like. But before we do that, I want to introduce my co-caster over here, GMT. So GMT, man, talk to us a little bit about yourself. You're not here in the DMV with us. You're
No.
joining from far and abroad.
Yeah, from England, just in the southeast, in a little town called Reading. I mean, I say little town; it would be a city, but we have some funny rules about what makes a city here. But yeah, a few miles away, safe to say. But hopefully, I can get some of that Maryland, Virginia, DC sort of spirit going on. I have visited all of these places, so I'm not completely foreign.
It's
Um,
gonna be great, man. And
yeah,
plus, like, you know what's up, so you know good esports when you see them, and that's all that really matters.
that's it. And been following esports for well since I was maybe like this tall or maybe this tall. I mean, that wasn't that long ago. I'm a young boy, but still. And we got some League of Legends today, which is a game that I've always wanted to cast, haven't had the opportunities to, and it's really exciting for me actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I think, League of Legends is such a unique game, and also one of the games that we are going to be pushing really hard in the MAEC, and our hope is to join CLOL next year. So, what we're trying to do this year is we have a series of pop-up tournaments, and League of Legends has a variety of rules, and so we're going to abide by those rules, do single day tournaments, do a great job, and hopefully be joining CLOL in the fall. And so hopefully we're going to have a lot of League of Legends to cast here over the next in the spring and going forward, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to start talking about exactly what the MAEC is. That is, of course, the Mid Atlantic Esports. How am I blanking on this word already? Convention?
Conference.
Conference. There we go. Sorry, we don't use that word much over here. Um, let's talk about it then. So, just give me the overview. What is the MAEC exactly, and what's it about?
So the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference is the second non-traditional conference that's been formed. I believe that there's a Midwest Esports Conference, but the goal here is, and the way it came to be is, we have a wonderful partner in Events DC and our friend Neil Johnson. Neil, hope you're having a great day, man. So they came to us, and we were talking about how we could help the colleges and universities in our area. Um, you know, get a really robust and wonderful collegiate esports scene going in the DMV. So we had a series of calls with a variety of different schools, and what we did was we just asked them, "What do you like about your current conferences? What do you not like about your current conference? What's a win for you? How can we help establish your programs better?" And what they did was they kind of gave us all this information and feedback. And Game Jam and Events DC got together and said, okay, we can create the Mid Atlantic Esports Conference, a conference that is built to serve our member schools and provide resources for the schools themselves and the students, and hopefully give them a ton of opportunities through both competition as well as a couple other cool opportunities that I'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, our whole goal is to, the collective is bigger than the individual, and we're getting people together to try to help these kids get more visibility, more opportunities, and then more experience, so that when they go off into the world post college, they are, ripe for jobs and have a really great resume already. So that's kind of an overview of the goal and kind of how everything came together.
Wonderful. And I think it's really interesting, especially for you guys in the US, because there's such a big collegiate sports program that you can sort of model yourselves after. But I'm also sure like you've had to make changes for esports in particular, right? So where do you see the big differences between traditional collegiate esports and what collegiate esports is going to become?
I think the main difference is that the NCAA rules all in traditional sports. It is judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to traditional sports. And in this world of esports, they can't be the main entity. They can't be the the boss because someone else owns the game. Someone
Mm,
owns League of Legends. Someone owns Overwatch. And those people are the boss and they don't want to give up control of their thing. So I think that fundamentally the biggest difference is that um the NCAA is not involved in collegiate esports yet, and so it's a lot like the Wild West or the WWE and like the early '80s and '90s where there's different kind of fiefdoms and groups that everybody's trying to figure out how to put together in different ways.
mm.
So the main thing I would say is that like the biggest difference is that the NCAA isn't involved, and so that vacuum is filled by other conferences and the developers themselves who set their own ground rules.
Right. And that is a huge distinction, obviously, and something that can be both a strength and a weakness. I think, in terms of not being under that one governing body is nice, but then you've also got to worry about the devs doing the right thing. But I think, there's a lot of goodwill for collegiate esports. There's a lot of hope there as well. And let's talk about the two great companies behind the MAEC. Those, of course, being Events DC, your partner in Game Gym. Let's start with Events DC then. What are they all about?
So, Events DC is a very cool organization. They're essentially tasked with bringing awesome things to DC and the DC, Maryland, Virginia region, which we call the DMV in our area. So, the DMV has cringeworthy feelings because it's what's the Driver Motor Association, but it's where
Yeah.
everybody has to go to do their license, and it's all a big thing. But in our area, the DMV is a good thing, and Events DC is tasked with creating the most interesting, fun, exciting events, and so that people come to DC and stay in hotels, go to restaurants, use Uber and stimulate the local economy. So
Mm,
they're doing things like trying to bring the World Cup in 2026 to DC. They are trying to get some big high profile esports and gaming events to DC, which would be super cool.
mm,
They are doing all kinds of things. They're sponsoring the Washington Justice and Wizards District Gaming, our two premier esports teams in the area. And their goal is from top to bottom, the pro teams down to the grassroots, create a really great ecosystem. So when they bring those big events, everybody's there to cheer them on and have a great time.
beautiful. And Game Gym, of course, I believe you are the leader, founder, perhaps, of Game Gym. Tell us about Game Gym and what it's all about as well.
Yeah, so Game Gym is an esports training and broadcast center based out of Rockville, Maryland, and our goal is to help video games be less of a pain point for kids and parents. So we do tournaments, we have a variety of different camps and after school programs. We want to serve the kind of the our three main demographics, which are the kids, the parents, and then young industry hopefuls. So
Mm,
our job is to create the bottom rungs to the ladder so that you have the ability to be, pursue this, whether it's a casual thing and you like competing, or you just like some Minecraft and you want some friends to do it with, or maybe you want to go play Overwatch in college. We've got a really cool program where we've got kids who are doing casual stuff, but we've placed coaches in high level jobs, and some of our kids have gone on to play esports in college as well, which is pretty awesome. A little bit ago, one of our former coaches just got picked up by Cloud9 to be on their Valorant team. So, those are the things that I'm most proud of, because we've got great talent, and I love to see them go off and be successful elsewhere. So, um, just if anybody wants to check it out, Events DC is eventsdc.com, and then Game Gym is just gamegym.com. So if you want to learn more about the two co-founding organizations, definitely check them out.
That's wonderful, and it's interesting the way that you put it to me, making gaming less of a pain point for parents and children. It's like you're taking the inevitable, kids will play video games, and then we're trying to turn that into the most positive, most nourishing thing there is, just as we do with traditional sports. Because a lot of the same benefits are there in terms of learning how you compete is usually a great humbling experience. You have to learn how to learn, and it's maybe that little bit more engaging than academic studies for some people, but they can still apply that all over. So yeah, I really like that angle actually, and it's not something I've heard spoken about nearly enough.
Yeah,
Um,
I think for us, like just like you said, everybody's doing this, but unless you have an older brother or older sister who gamed or a parent who gamed, a lot of kids are doing this by themselves.
mm,
And sometimes you end up in dark places on the internet when you don't have any guidance. So, our goal is to give a community and a coach. I grew up playing all these great sports, and my coaches were incredibly influential in my life to both help me excel at the sport, but also be there. If I'm having a bad day, they're there to say, "Hey, man, like, what's going on?" They see you every day, so they know when something's off, and they could be that sounding board if you need. And a lot of kids in the gaming space don't have that team atmosphere.
mm. Yeah, I absolutely see that, and it's so different. It's like the way that I think about my own competitive journey throughout different games. It's largely defined by who I've met along the way, and actually whether I stuck in this game or went to this one was largely due to those people that I found. And if we can make that more likely that you're going to find the right people in the right place that are going to be supportive, the better. Let's talk then about who's making this happen. Of course, Game Gym, Events DC, but we've also got other partners. So who else is participating in the MEEC?
So we have 12 wonderful schools in the MAEC. If anybody wants to check it out while we're talking about it, head over to maec.gg and you can see the full roster of schools. It has our mission and all the other information over there. But we have a really wonderful group of schools that are diverse from DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So I'm going to run down the list right here. And then also we have an exciting new member who's joining us as well. So we have Catholic University out of DC, Hood College out of Maryland, Howard Community College out of Maryland, Marymount University out of Maryland, Mount St. Mary's out of Maryland, Shenandoah University out of Virginia, and then the South Division, which is mainly our Virginia schools, George Mason University, Northern Virginia Community College, Old Dominion University, Randolph College, Randolph Macon College, and Virginia Commonwealth University, otherwise known as VCU. So we've got everybody from DC to Richmond, and these are just the 12 schools that have started. But we hope to expand in future years. And then we also have a new team that has just joined us. We have George Washington University, who's going to be playing today, who we are very excited to welcome to the MAEC.
Superb. A long list there, and as you say, going to be growing and getting what are, I mean, colleges, they're storied and very sort of fundamental parts to society. To get those involved in esports, it's just a very nice route of doing things, right? And trying to reach out to individuals is that much harder than going through the channels we already have in institutions like the colleges. So let's talk about the season that they're going to be competing in. And if you can just give us an overview of what the format's going to be and where this is all going to end up.
Awesome. So we have 8 weeks that we're starting that start today, and we are running League of Legends, Rocket League, and Overwatch. So League of Legends and Overwatch are going to be pop-ups, and what that means is one day tournaments um, that are going to start and end on that day. What we're really trying to do is abide by the CLO rules. We want to get that invite, so we are doing these one-day tournaments. So we've got League of Legends this weekend, next Saturday, and again the Saturday after that. You can see the full schedule on maec.com or maec.gg. So we have 3 League of Legends pop-ups. We have an Overwatch tournament that our friends at Game Mason are going to be organizing as that 4th week, and then we have 3 more weeks of League of Legends pop-ups before our championships. The championships take place May 14th to 16th at the Spring Summit, which is our championships for the MAEC, but also the District Esports League, the other league that we run. So What we're doing is building to these championships that are going to be culminating in mid-May.
Okay, lots to look forward to then.
Oh yeah.
Lots to look forward to. So that's building to the Spring Summit, I believe it's called.
hmm
Uh, and what is that event? Obviously, the largest of them going to be like, and what should we expect from it?
So the spring summit is the third jewel in what we call the DMV's Triple Crown. We have the summer bash, the winter games, and the spring summit. And what these do is they act as the championships events for our tournaments. The days we feature panelists, we have game developers, we have people from the esports and gaming space. We have a variety of speakers, panels, activities during the day, and then we have esports competitions at night, so the championships of all of our events. The last thing that's really important about these events is that we are using them to raise money for the Extra Life Foundation and Children's National Hospital here in the DMV area. So it's awesome education stuff for kids, parents, and young adults. It's epic esports competitions highlighting the best people in our area. And then we're all coming together to do something awesome, which is raise money for kids going through a really rough time.
Superb. I mean, it's hugely important work you're doing, and I'm just uh, yeah, I'm sort of blown away. It's really great, positive stuff, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it. I know we did touch on it earlier, but just to sort of put a bow on things,
Mhm.
where exactly should people be going for all of the information on the MEEC, Game Gym, Events DC, etc.?
Nice. So MAEC is maec.gg. Super easy to remember. That one, I think there's also on our overlays, if you scroll down, there should be links to our site, the MAEC site, and Events DC. So you could check them out there. Events DC is eventsdc.com, and then Game Gym is gamegym.com. The MAEC also has a Twitch where hopefully you're watching it on here and you know where it is. But in case you don't, it's twitch.tv/ Mid-Atlantic Esports. And then we also have a Twitter, which is Mid-Atlantic EC. They really kind of clipped me with the lettering and numbers. I couldn't put Mid-Atlantic Esports. And it was like two letters over. So
It's
we're
whether
gonna
I'll
try
get
to
you, man.
unify them at some point.
Ah, the cruel Twitter overlords with their character limits. It's
Yep,
uh, it's
exactly.
a tale as old as time. So moving on to today,
Yeah.
we've got a fair few matches, some best of threes coming up. League of Legends. What are you looking forward to most?
I'm really excited for this because we have a very cool group of schools who are going to be playing today. We've got 5 schools who are going to be competing. We've got George Washington, Howard Community College, Catholic University, Shenandoah University, and I think there's one more,
Mount St. Mary's.
and Mount St. Mary's. Thank you. And we're going to be running best of threes. And you can check out we'll post the Battlefy link so you can check it out. Um, but it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited, and this is also our first tournament. So as we do more pop-ups, we're going to be adding schools to the tournament series, and we'll hopefully get a really robust group of teams going to be playing in our future competitions.
Beautiful. I just have to point out Shenandoah. What a
hmm
name! Stupendous. If anything, I think they're my favorite now, and I'm going to be rooting for them all the way, just on
Nice.
name value alone. Of course, being a Briton, George Washington isn't my favorite person in the world because So they'll be the heel for me.
hmm
Do you have a horse in this race?
I'm excited to see these teams. I've had a ton of interactions with the coaches and players, but unfamiliar with exactly where these teams are in the standings, where they are in the season, how they're feeling. So I think we could get some cool upsets. I think we could see some cool matches, and maybe somebody's going to surprise us today. So I'm really excited about it, and I don't really have a horse in this race, but I think that at the end of the day, the cool thing that we're going to see is some awesome League of Legends matches.
Absolutely, and what a joy that's going to be. As I say, I've not casted League of Legends before, but I've always wanted to, and so I'm very excited to do that. Along with I believe it's a super fan of the Washington Justice that's going to be joining me.
Oh yeah. So this is one of the best things I think about what we're doing here is we're bringing together awesome people who have great vibes to do really cool things. And Chris, or AKA Super Justice Guy, is a huge Justice fan, but also loves League of Legends and just esports in general. And I got the pleasure to cast with him a little bit at our Overwatch tournament that we did at the Winter Games, which was a blast. He just brings a ton of energy and great vibes, and he's somebody who's local, and very excited to have him be a part of this of our show today.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to getting to know everyone a little bit better. So I think we're coming towards the end of sort of this intro. So if we go and zoom out a little bit more,
Hmm.
and if I can ask just personally, what does the MAEC mean for you? Because of course you're hugely involved. I'm imagining you're a part of sort of the imagination behind all of it. Um, yeah, to you, what does this mean?
Um, that's a what I wasn't prepared for that one, but I think so. So my history, I grew up being a sports guy, and I swam at UNC, and I got to be a collegiate athlete and have that experience, and it was a one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. And I
Mm,
also learned a lot about, how a conference can support or work against the athletes in it. And I think that there's a lot of wonderful things that the NCAA does, and that the ACC, which the conference that I was a part of, that they do. But I think there's also some things that are unique to esports that need to be put together and presented and organized by people who understand this world. These esports and traditional sports, like we talked about, they're not one to one.
mm,
So our job, and what I'm really excited about, is to create an atmosphere that's really for the schools, really for the kids. We want to highlight their talents. We want to give them the best and biggest platform for them to succeed. And one of the other things that we're going to be doing in addition to the actual competitions themselves is we're going to be organizing a high school combines so that we can help highlight high school talent and help our universities find the best talent in our region. We're also going to be organizing college fairs, or career fairs, to help those kids in college find opportunities at internships and jobs both locally and nationally. So to me, it's really that, like, we're building something that I hope benefits a lot of people, and that we make a name for ourselves. I would be very proud to look back in a couple years and have the MAEC be an example of how to do things right.
mm.
That would be a huge win for me. And if we win, then the schools win. If the schools win, then everybody wins. So that's the goal here.
What a goal it is. So, as I say, we are coming towards the end here. We're going to be getting into our games very shortly.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are looking at the bracket now. We've got, yeah, all the teams, I think, almost ready to go. So, I think that about does it for our intro. Thank you ever so much for having this conversation with me. Is there anything you need to say before we get into this?
No, man, just that you're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and being a part of this. This is super exciting. And this is just the beginning. We've got tournaments every Saturday and every Wednesday for the next 8 weeks leading to the Spring Summit, May 14th to the 16th. So put that on your schedule. Check out all the schedule on maec.gg, and we will see you, for all the awesomeness in a little bit.
Beautiful. All right. We'll see you soon.